welcome to this episode of What's Happening in Waupaca. I'm Joni. Today we are talking with Elizabeth Halsworth, who is a Code Compliance Officer with the City of Waupaca. You actually work with the Community and Economic Development area of Waupaca, which really surprised me. I expected that you worked with the police department. But anyway, welcome to the show, Elizabeth. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You just started in this position in September, correct?
Yes.
So you're brand new, so everybody is picking on you and showing you the ropes of
yes.
what's going on. It's nice to be able to talk with you because we are coming into snow season where we need to be shoveling our sidewalks, and when it's all windy and icy, we really don't want to. Right?
Yes.
I mean, none of us really want to.
No, nobody does.
So what do you do as a code compliance officer? Do you like walk the streets and see if you slip or what?
So essentially, the process for the snow removal for code compliance is 48 hours after the end of the snowfall. I'll go out, drive around the city, look around at the sidewalks, make sure they're shoveled. In the event that someone didn't get a chance to get out and shovel their sidewalks within that 48-hour time period, we'll be hanging door hangers on the residents, and that'll kind of be your one warning saying, hey, we need you guys to get out there, get your sidewalks shoveled. If you can't get it done at that time, then the city guys will unfortunately show up to your house and do the shoveling for you.
Oh, they don't haul you off to jail?
No.
They just do the shoveling for you?
Yes.
I'll bet it's not free.
It is not.
How much does it, so let's say that I really can't get out there and I've broken my leg and it's just too tough and I don't have anybody to lean on and I just say, what the heck, I'm just gonna let the city do it. What kind of a bill am I gonna get?
You know, price-wise, I'm not sure on the exact. I think they were talking around $60 for the first time. However, in the event it happens again, no warning, no door hangers. You're just going to have the city come out. They're going to do the shoveling, and then you're also going to end up getting a citation from our department within the code compliance as well. So you'll be hit twice at that point.
Okay, so what we really need to do coming into snow season, and there isn't any on the ground yet, but there will be. What we really need to do is to make sure that we are ready to shovel or we've made arrangements with someone to take care of our sidewalks.
Yes.
So tell me why this is so important.
So obviously within the city, out in front of your own house, you might be using the sidewalks, but there's kids going to bus stops, there's people walking with their pets. I know one of the big things we talked about was shoveling the whole sidewalk, just because if there's families walking, if there's people with wheelchairs, they need to have the accessibility to walk through the entire sidewalk without the ice and worrying about tripping or slipping and falling and having that be a liability.
And I've seen a lot of sidewalks where it's one shovel wide down the middle. Now you're going to give me a ticket?
Yes.
For that too?
Yes.
So you really are making sure, not that I'm out there getting exercise, but you're making sure that the sidewalks are safe for all of the people who use them all winter long.
Correct, yes.
All right, okay. Now, you were telling me when we were talking before this segment, you were telling me that code and compliance is transitioning to more of a proactive stance than a reactive stance. So let's talk a little bit about that before we get into spring.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me what they're doing and why they're doing it.
So in the past, it's been a little more reactive where we've gotten complaints through the community or we've had different people within the city driving and passing on those complaints to our department and then investigating them. However, this next year, we're kind of looking forward to moving to being more proactive, like you said, where we're going to do maybe more targeted neighborhood type code compliance. We've looked at the voting wards and kind of sectioning it out that way and visiting certain parts of the city maybe once a month, maybe quarterly during the year, something like that, so we can just get out there and be looking at the communities. So spring-wise, what we would really like to do is once the snow is done falling and it gets a little bit warmer out and we can all get out there, we're looking at maybe having dumpsters or getting the recycling and garbage center open so that the community, the city, can kind of take the time to clean up their property. And then once it is warmer and summer rolls around, we can get out there and kind of do that targeted neighborhood approach and look for the different code violations, if any still exist.
Okay, so what kind of code? I mean, I live out of the country where nobody complains about my grass.
Me too.
But if I live in the city, what are you looking for? Are you looking for, are you going to cite me if my grass is over 2 foot tall, or are you going to cite me if it's like 6 inches tall? Or, I mean, what are you looking for when you go around in a neighborhood as far as, because we all want the communities to look nice, and nobody in a city wants to live next to a garbage dump, right?
Yes.
But what specifically do you look for and start to talk to people about?
So on the topic with grass, our code ordinance for grass is it can't be any taller than 12 inches. So a foot is typically once it reaches that is when we'll get out there and send you a letter saying, hey, you need to mow your lawn, and then if it goes past that, then citations are possible. But some of the other more common code violations that we're looking for are any unregistered vehicles, any inoperable vehicles, so flat tire or whatever it may be that you can't move the vehicle off your property, and in those instances, it's typically within 72 hours. So if it's been out there for more than 72 hours, we'll be looking to send a letter. Beyond that, it's more of like the garbage in the yard or junk, any accumulation of junk in the yard, just like you said, just trying to kind of clean up the community so that it looks nice. We don't have any neighbors or anyone driving through the community saying that there's something that they see as in violation.
Well, and nobody wants to live in a house where you say, drive down the street, we are right next door to the dump. We're right next door to that house that never takes care of it. I mean, nobody wants to live in that kind of neighborhood, and we've all talked to people like that. So what I really like is I keep hearing you say that if you find a violation, you send a letter first.
Correct.
Instead of just ticketing them. Which is really nice that the city is willing to do that, because it means you're really trying hard to work with the people.
And yeah, that's one of the other things we really want to emphasize with the fact that we are going to be more proactive. So it might seem like we're a little bit more visible out there just because we are looking for those code violations out in the open. But we do encourage you, if you get a letter and for some reason you can't get it done within the 10 days, or there's a reason why you might need a little bit more of a time period, please do call our office. We are really willing to work with you and figure something out. The letter is kind of just our way of saying, we just want to get it cleaned up. We don't want to send citations. We don't need citations. We just want that community cleaned up is our main goal.
So most of us, when we talk about tickets, we think of it as the city trying to profit.
Yes, yep.
So what you are telling me pretty directly is this is not about tickets. This is not about profit margin. This really is about Waupaca being a beautiful community to live in.
Correct, yep. We just want people to come here, to spend time here, to live here, to work here, all of that. So like I said,
good.
Encouraging people to just give us a call if you have any questions and talk to us about it. We're more than willing to work with you.
Sounds good, Elizabeth. Thanks. Look for Elizabeth out on the streets. She'll be roaming the neighborhoods. Thank you for joining us on the show, especially when you've only been with the city for a few months. I appreciate you coming on and talking with us and getting us kind of on the straight and narrow about some of the codes that we need to be looking for through the winter and into the spring.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You bet. Thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Happening in Waupaca. I am Joni, and I'll see you next time.